Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be playing another round of my TBR game, Scrabble Picks My TBR. If this is your first time watching my Scrabble TBR game, first of all, welcome. Secondly, I will link a video explaining the rules in the card up above. It's pretty simple. Basically, every single month I spell 5 words in a game of Scrabble, and those 5 words are my reading prompts for that month. I must successfully complete the prompt to collect the points for that word, and once I reach 150, I get to clear the board and start fresh. So let's talk about how I did in the month of July. I am currently filming this with 2 days left in the month, so I have completed all the prompts except for 2. I have not finished reading The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins or George in London Into the Streets by Lucy Inglis. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this because I only read about like 60 pages, 74. I'm on page 74, so I think I'm going to need more time with that one. I do think I can finish The Moonstone. I'm about halfway through, so I think if I just, if I just make time for reading, I will be able to finish this before July is over. To be completely honest though, it doesn't matter because even if I don't finish this, I still have enough points to clear the board and start fresh for the month of August, so that's what I'm going to do. That being said, let's talk really quickly about the books that I need to read this month. For this month's Read Christie pick, I'm going to read Death Comes as the End. This is a standalone mystery set in ancient Egypt, which sounds so fun. I also have an arc that I need to read this month, and that is Lilith by Nikki Marmee. This book doesn't come out until, I want to say November, like October or November, but the archive date for it is August 22nd. So I have to read it before then, and I will provide my thoughts in a review for this book once I've finished it. This book is a feminist retelling of the story of Lilith, who in Hebrew mythology beliefs was the first wife of Adam before Eve. So it's pitched as being in the style of Madeline Miller, and I hope I will really enjoy this one because I love Madeline Miller. I also was potentially going to join an in-person book club just to be able to go have an activity to go to, but the person in charge of the book club said they were going to post a poll to vote for what we would read for our first meeting, and she hasn't done that yet. So I don't know what the book is going to be. I don't even know if the book club is still going on, but I might have to read something for the book club. At this point, I really don't know. So I think that's everything I needed to say here. Let's just dive in with prompt number 1. All right, new month, new board. Let's start off with 7 tiles. E. I. Another I. A. R. Oh, D. D. M. M. So, I'm going to start off with, how would I center this? Admire. I'm trying to center it on the board, I'm sorry. I guess I can't. let's just go back to how I had it before. This is the same. Okay. Admire, which is 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And read a book with a character I admire or an author, or it's by an author I admire in some way. Good God, I cannot talk. This video is going off to a great start. I feel like I'm making no sense. I can't decide where I want to put the letters on the board. Anyways, yeah, that's the prompt. I'm just gonna shut up now. So prompt number 1 is admire, a book with a character I admire or by an author I admire. Now, normally I don't put my Read Christie picks on the monthly TBR, but this month I do have a lot of stuff going on. I have to read an ARC. I might have to read a book club book. So I think putting this on the official TBR will be helpful to me. And I think it's fair to say that I admire Agatha Christie. She is probably one of the most famous mystery writers. Definitely, I would say the most famous mystery writer in the Western world. She wrote, I think, like 70 novels, and I would love to have a career like hers, obviously, as an aspiring mystery author. She is who I want to be, and realistically, I will probably never achieve her level of success, but I would like to, so I think it's fair to say that I admire her. Like I said, this is a murder mystery that takes place in ancient Egypt, and I've heard some people say that this is the first ever historical murder mystery novel. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that just further solidifies that this works for the admire prompt, because I want to become a historical mystery author. So, debatably, Agatha Christie kind of founded that genre that I want to write. I think it works for the admire prompt. That's what I'm going with. F. O. L. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Ew! God! I am a hot mess today. Anyways, R. Good God. What is wrong with me? Another R. Okay. And an A. All right. So I'm going to spell the word fail and read a book that I failed to read on a previous TBR. So something that I put on the TBR and then I did not actually end up reading it. I don't think there's anything special here. So that will be 5, 6, 7 points. Now for the fail prompt. I'm going to again do something I don't usually do. I know, I'm sorry. And I'm going to allow myself to make a final choice regarding this prompt later. I believe there are 4 books that I have put on my TBRs and not read. Those are A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, The Fiery Cross by Diana Gabaldon, Shakespeare Sonnets by, of course, William Shakespeare, and Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I put all of those on official Scrabble TBRs and did not read them, so I will be reading one of these for this prompt. At this point, I'm not quite sure, because again, I don't really know if this book club thing is happening or not, so I don't know if I want to commit to reading a really big book when I might potentially have to read something for book club. I'm also going to start querying my novel this month, and I am going on a weekend getaway, so I have a lot going on, and I'm going to give myself the freedom to decide what to read for this prompt later. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. This is my life and my game, so I do what I want. To be completely honest, I'm probably not going to read Mistborn this month. I'm just not feeling ready to start that at this point in time. I'm leaning towards either Shakespeare Sonnets or A Fire Endless. I think it would be great to finish the Elements of Cadence duology by reading A Fire Endless, but if I do end up having to read something for book club, I think maybe Shakespeare's Sonnets would be a little more manageable. I also feel bad that I've owned that copy of Shakespeare's Sonnets for several years and I haven't read it yet, so again, that would be very satisfying to finally take that off my physical TBR. I don't know. You'll have to tune into my August wrap-up to see what I end up reading for this prompt. H. S. And a C. For this prompt, I'm going to spell the word charm. And that has a double letter score on the R. So that's 5, 6, 10, 13. And for this, I'm just going to read a book that I think is charming, a book that has charm. For the next prompt, charm, I'm going to read a charming book. And what I picked out for this is North by Northanger, the third Mr. and Mrs. Darcy murder mystery by Carrie Bebris. This is the third book in a series in which a married Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice solve crimes. This book follows them after they discover a mysterious letter from Mr. Darcy's long dead mother. Then it's not really clear from the back. Somehow Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy end up meeting some of the characters from another Jane Austen novel, Northanger Abbey. They end up visiting them at the Abbey where mysterious events occur that connect to this letter they have discovered. I don't know. I can't really give you a very detailed plot description based on what's written in the back, but presumably it all connects somehow. The first two books in the series were both 3 stars for me, though I have heard the series gets better as it goes along. And the reason I picked this book for this prompt is because I love the way the author writes. Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, I feel like their personalities and their relationship feels true to personally how I interpret their characters, and I just love the adorable relationship they have in these books, and I feel like they have a very playful dynamic even after marriage that just personally tickles me, you know? So I think this is a good pick for that prompt. D. E. Another E. And is this the last one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, one more. N. So for this prompt, I'm going to spell second and read the second book in a series. So this has a double letter score here. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I am excited for this prompt. There are definitely some sequels I would like to read. The hard part is going to be choosing which one, but I'm excited about this. Next, for the prompt second, I'm going to read the second book in a series. There were several sequels I could have read for this prompt, but the one that I decided to go with is the Satapur Moonstone by Sujata Massey. This is the second Perveen mystery novel. Basically, the main character in the series, Perveen, is the first female lawyer in British colonial Bombay. Her father is a lawyer and she decides to have a career in the law as well, in a time where women were not very accepted in this profession at all. So this series basically follows Perveen as she tries to establish herself as a lawyer and has to solve various crimes. I don't remember exactly what the sequel is about, but I read the first book in December for Cloak and Dagger Christmas, and I am excited to continue. I also believe that this sequel introduces a love interest for Perveen, and I've heard really good things about their relationship in these books, so I am very excited. I don't know if there's anything I love more than a good historical mystery with a rootable slow burn romance, so I'm hoping that I will ship these two. I'm very excited to read this book. B. A. Upside down, but I. R. E. So for this prompt, I am going to spell bird, that has a triple letter score on the I, so 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to read a book that has a bird on the cover or in the title. So I'll have to see what on my TBR fits the bill. But that is going to be the last prompt for the month of August. Finally, for the last prompt, bird. You know, I was actually surprised how many books on my TBR had birds on the cover. There was no shortage of books to choose from, and in the end, I actually decided to go with a book where there's not a bird on the cover, but there is a bird in the title. Sort of. So for this prompt, I'm going to read Last Call at the Nightingale by Catherine Shellman. Nightingales are birds, and this title is referring to a speakeasy called the Nightingale, so it's not actually referring to a nightingale bird, but I'm counting it. This is the first in the Nightingale Mysteries series, a historical mystery series that takes place in 1920s New York. The Nightingale is an underground speakeasy, and the main character we're following is a young woman named Vivian Kelly. She enjoys coming to the Nightingale and having fun. I believe, based on the description of the book, Vivian might be bisexual because it refers to her as flirting with both men and women, and I love that for her. But basically in this book, a man turns up dead at the Nightingale. Vivian discovers his body, and when suspicion starts to fall on her, she takes it upon herself to investigate the murder and find out who really did it. Without giving too much away, I think this would be a great book for me to read in August because it does work for an upcoming, let's say, project I have coming up. I will talk about this more later, but yeah, I think this would be a great book for me to read in the month of August. So everyone, that is my August TBR. I'm going to be reading my ARC Lilith by Nikki Marmee, Death Comes as the End by Agatha Christie, one of the fail books, I haven't picked which one yet, North by Northanger by Carrie Bebris, The Satapur Moonstone by Sujata Massey, and Last Call at the Nightingale by Catherine Shellman. Possibly a book club book. Remains to be seen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.